On July 10th, 2015, after 3 years, I returned to the country on an evening flight. As I came out, I saw heavy rain pouring down. Somehow, taking a taxi, I reached Howrah bus stand from Kolkata Airport. Actually, my village home is in Medinipur, about 250 kilometers from Kolkata. At 11 p.m., the last night service bus, avoiding traffic, would take about 5.5 hours. After keeping my luggage in the bus locker and sitting on a window seat in my wet condition, suddenly I felt a cold, wet touch on my shoulder. "Akash, can you recognize me?" said the person. Here, let me mention Akash is my nickname. Turning back, I saw a bearded young man of almost the same age, in wet shirt and pants, staring at me with eagerness and a smile of long-lost fulfillment. Under the dim bluish light inside the bus, after looking at him for a few moments, I said with a mix of surprise and happiness, "What, Somu? You here? How are you? After so many days, I am seeing you." Somu, in a slightly hurt tone, replied, "Not many days. It's almost 8 years since we last met. Yet we are from the same village and childhood friends." With regret, after looking down for a few seconds, I pulled him to sit beside me. With studies at a management college in Kolkata, then a job abroad, truly almost 8 years had passed without meeting Somu, meaning Sumresh. Around 11:15, leaving behind the charm of Howrah Bridge, our bus pierced the rain and moved toward its destination. Inside the bus, there was not much crowd, maybe because it was a night bus. The few passengers present were already dozing off by the time the bus left. Stretching a little and relaxing, I asked Somu, "So, where are you coming from so late?" "From Siliguri. It's been 6 months now. I've been working as a supervisor in a tea estate there." While saying tea estate, Somu became a little gloomy and sat silently. I asked again, "And what about your music, your songs? Do you still sing? Or have you given it up?" With a dry face, he kept staring out into the dark mist through the bus window. We sat quietly for a while. The bus kept running endlessly through the dark night. Neither of us felt sleepy. After a while, at midnight, my digital clock alarm rang. Slowly, Somu began to speak, and I now narrate the following incident in his words. About 6 months ago, on such a stormy afternoon, I reached about 50 kilometers uphill from Siliguri. Through my elder uncle's recommendation, I got a supervisor's job at the tea estate there. After understanding everything in the factory manager's cabin, Manager Babu told the watchman, Ram Singh, to take me to the quarters. As said, so done. By the time we reached the quarters, descending along the slopes of the tea garden, evening had already arrived. The rain had stopped. Breaking through the clouds, the western sky showed a faint crimson glow, and its magical light fell on the gray-green hues of the mountain ranges. Small cottages stood in a row beside. The quarters looked beautiful, but among them, at a little distance, stood a dreadful, broken-down, burnt old quarter, overgrown with weeds and creepers, like a haunted ruin. Entering my quarter, after changing clothes and freshening up, I sat in the drawing room. Ram Singh, while serving tea, said, "Sahib, I have kept cake, bread, and bananas for you. Tea is in the flask. Tonight, you'll have to manage with these. From tomorrow evening, Money's mother will come and cook for you." Interrupting him, I asked, "Why only till evening? What if I need food at night?" Ram Singh, with some fear, said, "Sahib, no one wants to stay in these quarters. Even if they do, no one steps out at night. Whoever came before either left the job within 2 weeks or built a house in the lower settlement. Even the manager, Sahib, left his allotted quarter and stays in town below. You are new, so perhaps he did not tell you anything, fearing you might also run away. Money's mother lives in the worker settlement, so she cooks and leaves before evening." After a pause and swallowing hard, he continued, "Do you see that ruined quarter? A witch lives there. Whoever goes near it at night is either found dead the next day or found insane. I say, Sahib, tomorrow itself, I will arrange a good room for you near my settlement." I stopped Ram Singh and almost laughed, then without extending the talk, I dismissed him. That night, I slept very well, exhausted from the day's strain. From the next day, I immersed myself in new work. With immense work pressure, I didn't realize how 7 days passed. Eating the wonderful dishes cooked by Money's mother, I had almost forgotten those ghostly tales. That day was my first weekly off. Waking late, I went down to the town for some shopping. Returning, after enjoying Money's mother's delicious goat curry with hot parathas, by the time I got up, the sun had almost set in the western hills. Ani hurriedly cooked and left for the night. As evening descended, drizzling rain began. Pouring a cup of hot tea from the flask, I took a sip, kept it on the tea table, and opened the drawing room window. Though it was cold, such a beautiful rainy view in the hills never gets old, no matter how many times one sees it. Finally, after dusting off my rusty bag and unzipping it with force, I pulled out my guitar. Sitting on the chair, stirring a storm in the teacup, I played golden era tunes on the guitar to cheer myself up. Just then, as my eyes went toward the window, a chill of fear ran through my chest. In a flash of lightning that lit up the sky for a few moments, I saw someone standing outside the window, though I hadn't realized when evening had slipped into night. "Who's there?" I called out, but getting no reply, I took the lamp and went forward. Since the evening, due to the rain, the power had been out. As I went closer, I saw a girl standing there, smiling faintly. She seemed to be about 17 or 18 years old. I asked again, "Who are you? What are you doing here so late at night?" Without answering, the girl kept looking at me with that same enchanting smile. Just as I was about to ask again, she spoke in a sweet, melodious voice. "I work here as a cleaner. I stay down in the workers' settlement. I was delayed finishing work, and then the rain came, so I stood here under this shed. Suddenly, I heard music and came near your window and saw you singing. You sing very sweetly. After so long, someone praised my singing, and perhaps because of that sweet voice, I didn't pay attention to the strangeness of the situation. At such a late hour, in the middle of thick darkness in a deserted place, the sudden appearance of a young girl, whether it was coincidence or not, I don't know. Nor did I have time to think, as at that very moment the girl requested me to sing a song. It felt as if I had received a long-lost treasure. I began to sing at once. After all, I had come here suppressing my passion for music just to work. So, someone's sudden request for a song filled my heart with joy. Singing, I invited the girl to come up to the veranda and then began a musical gathering. The girl kept requesting song after song, and I kept singing. I didn't notice how much time had passed. At one point, the girl stood up and said, "I'll go now," and stepping down from the veranda, she disappeared into the darkness. I asked, "What happened? Did I do something wrong? At least tell me your name." From the darkness, like a drifting breeze, that same melodious voice replied, "I will come again." I sat stunned. After some time, as I packed up and got up from the chair, I saw that the electricity had returned. Looking at the wall clock, I was startled to see it was nearly 2:30 a.m. Yet, even then, I hadn't sensed anything supernatural. Instead, I kept worrying how such a young girl could go alone so late at night, until at last I fell asleep. That sweet voice still hummed in my ears. The next day, in the midst of the factory's many tasks, I had completely forgotten the events of the night. Returning to my room by evening, I found that Money's mother had covered the dinner on the dining table and left. After finishing dinner, I sat on the sofa, turned on the TV, and dozed off within a few minutes. I awoke to the familiar tinkling sound of anklets. Following the sound, I looked up and saw the girl from last night, standing on the veranda with that enchanting smile. Suddenly, an eager thrill surged through my body. As I was about to ask, the girl, as if reading my mind, answered one by one. "First of all, you did nothing wrong. And what difference does a name make?" I invited her into the drawing room, went to fetch my guitar from the bedroom, and then another musical gathering began. Truly, when music is near, I pay attention to nothing else. While singing, suddenly my eyes went to the window and I saw it gradually filling with light. The girl then said, "See, it's already morning. Listening to your songs, I didn't realize how time flew." I must leave now. It would be trouble if anyone knew. Humbly I said, what? How can that be? I feel I've only sung one song for an hour. I still have more songs to share. She replied, not today. I will come again. But don't tell anyone about me. Otherwise it will create problems for me, and then I will not come again. Saying this, the girl seemed to fade away into the morning mist. Rubbing my sleepy eyes, I looked at the clock and saw it was indeed 5 a.m. After resting a bit, around 9 a.m., I went to the factory. Having not slept all night, my eyes were red like hibiscus flowers. Somehow, with a tired body, I managed the day's work and returned to my room in the evening. That night, the girl came again, and another musical session began. Thus, night after night went by in melodies and an enchanting, otherworldly rhythm. Work no longer felt enjoyable. Daylight became unbearable. I kept waiting only for the stillness of night. I nearly stopped eating. An invisible spell had taken hold of me. All this reached a climax about a week later. That day, after much struggle climbing uphill to the factory, I just opened a file and sat down when suddenly my head began spinning. Darkness closed in around me, and I remembered nothing more. When I regained consciousness, I found myself lying on my bed with Ram Singh and the doctor standing beside me. I had a raging fever. They said I had been unconscious for 2 days. The doctor prescribed medicine and then left. Even in that weak body, I had grown restless. 2 days I hadn't seen her, hadn't heard her songs. Evening was coming. Maybe she had left for good. Tonight, I decided I would not let her go. As I tried to get up from bed, Ram Singh stopped me, saying, "What are you doing, Sahib? After 2 days, you've just regained consciousness. Rest tonight. I will stay with you." I cut him off, almost screaming like a madman. No one will stay. You go, I said go. Terrified, Ram Singh and Money's mother exclaimed together, Who comes every night? She listens to my songs all night. We talk so much. I muttered distractedly while searching for my guitar. Money's mother, trembling in fear, muttered prayers and fled from the room. Ram Singh still stood, trying to calm me with anxious words. Sahib, no girl comes here. It's all your imagination. I scolded him harshly, pushed him out by the neck, and slammed the door shut. Soon it was 11 p.m., yet she had not come. Disheartened, I opened the door and gazed into the endless darkness. Perhaps I dozed off when suddenly that familiar voice rose, now broken with sobbing. Startled and hesitant, I asked, What happened? Why are you crying? She wailed. I told you not to tell anyone about me. But you did. Before I could reply, she cried and ran into the darkness. Wait, don't go. I shouted in sorrow and regret, chasing her into the night. In the pitch black, I saw a faint white glow of a sari a short distance away. Moving toward it, I stumbled against a gate. Feeling in the darkness, I realized it was a broken gate. A little ahead, I saw a dim line of light, and there, in an instant, the girl entered the ruined quarter. I rushed inside. At my push, the door opened with a dreadful, corroded screech. As I stepped in, I froze. I could not believe my eyes. Icy shivers coursed through me. From a ceiling hung that girl's body, grotesque, with hollow sockets where eyes should be, and laughing horribly as she gnawed at her own hand. That is all I remember. What Soma said afterward, I do not recall. I must have fallen asleep. My slumber was broken by the conductor's shake. Startled, yawning, I looked at him, and he said my bus stop had arrived. Turning to my side seat, I saw Soma was gone. I called out, Somu. Somu. The conductor asked if I was looking for someone. When I told him about Somu, he said no one had been sitting beside me. What? How's that possible? I cried. A living man sat by me for 5 hours, and you never saw him? Annoyed, I got off the bus, vowing to scold Somu when I reached home. After freshening up and resting, around 9 in the morning, I went to Soma's house, just a few houses down from mine. Standing in their yard, I shouted, Somu, Somu, where are you, you rascal? After a while, Soma's mother came out, and seeing me, broke down in tears. Climbing up onto the porch, I tried to comfort her and ask about Somu. when suddenly my eyes froze on a picture on the wall, Somu's photo, garlanded. Before I could say anything, his mother began to speak through sobs. 6 months ago, he had gone to work near a tea estate. One day, mysteriously, in an old broken quarter, his body was found hanging. I could not stand there any longer. And once I turned back, from that day on, I have never told anyone about the terrifying, supernatural events of that night on the bus.